Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking you on a journey into the world of persuasive technology,
Mhm.
a field called Captology.
That's right.
And, you might be thinking, isn't all technology persuasive in some way?
Right. Yeah.
Well, not
Not
exactly.
necessarily.
Captology is all about the intentional design of technology to influence our thoughts and actions.
It's about the design.
It's happening all around us on websites and apps,
Oh, yeah.
even in those everyday objects that are getting smarter by the minute.
Absolutely. And, it really gets interesting when you think about how designers can use computers, not just as tools,
Right.
but as persuasive agents in their own right.
Okay, so how is persuasion defined in this context?
Well, it boils down to changing attitudes or behaviors without using force or deception.
Okay.
It's about influence, not coercion or trickery.
So those annoying pop-up ads that scream, "You have a virus," that's not captology.
Why?
That's just trying to scare us into clicking.
Exactly. Deception is the opposite of what Captology is about.
Gotcha.
Think of it more like a well-designed language learning app
Right.
that motivates you to practice every day.
Yeah.
Not by force,
Yeah,
but by making the process fun and rewarding.
that makes sense. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around this idea of a computer actually being a persuader.
Sure.
Like, how does it actually work?
Well, think about it this way. There's a difference between human-computer interaction, where the computer itself is doing the persuading,
Mm-hmm.
and computer-mediated communication, where the computer is simply a channel for humans to interact.
Okay.
Email, for example, is computer-mediated communication.
Right.
It just lets us talk to each other.
But a program like that budgeting software I use, that's human-computer interaction.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It uses reminders, visual progress trackers,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even virtual rewards to encourage you to manage your money more effectively.
Interesting.
Those design elements are intended to change your behavior.
So it's like they're trying to nudge me in the right direction.
Yes. Exactly. Another good example would be those online coding courses that use personalized feedback and progress tracking to keep you motivated.
So the computer's acting like a virtual coach or tutor in these cases.
Exactly. And these persuasive techniques can be big or small, what we call macrosuasion and microsuasion.
Okay.
Macrosuasion refers to the overall persuasive goal of a product.
Got it.
Think of a fitness tracker that aims to get you moving more.
So the microsuasion would be things like the congratulatory messages you get when you hit your step goal.
Exactly. Those small nudges all contribute to the larger goal. Even something like the feedback system on eBay
Oh,
is a form of microsuasion. It might seem like a small feature, but it encourages honesty and trust among users,
Right.
contributing to eBay's larger goal of being a safe and reliable marketplace.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. It's like those little nudges are everywhere once you start looking for them.
They really are, and some technologies are masters of microsuasion. Think about video games. The sound effects, when you level up the rewards you unlock, even the way the difficulty increases to keep you challenged.
Right.
These are all carefully crafted to keep you engaged and playing.
It's starting to feel like we're constantly being persuaded by technology.
In a lot of ways, we are.
Are computers just inherently better at it than humans?
Well, computers have some unique advantages when it comes to persuasion.
Yeah.
For one, they're incredibly persistent.
Okay.
Think about those software updates that nag you relentlessly until you finally give in.
Tell me about it. I swear my laptop has more stamina than a marathon runner when it comes to those update reminders.
And computers offer anonymity. People might feel more comfortable seeking help for sensitive issues when they can do so privately without judgment.
Right.
This anonymity can empower individuals to make changes they might not otherwise consider.
That's a really important point. It could be really helpful for things like exploring different viewpoints or seeking support for personal challenges.
It creates a safe space for exploration and growth. And let's not forget the sheer amount of data computers can handle.
Right.
This allows them to tailor suggestions to your specific preferences.
Like those, you might also like recommendations you see online.
Exactly.
Okay, sometimes those recommendations are creepily accurate. It's like the
No.
algorithm knows me better than I know myself. But I do love the convenience.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. But it highlights another advantage of computers as persuaders, their ability to use vast amounts of data to create personalized experiences.
So we've got persistence, anonymity, data management. Are there any other advantages computers have in the persuasion game?
Well, computers can also leverage multiple modes of communication to persuade.
Okay.
They can combine text images, sound, even animation to create a truly immersive and influential experience.
Yeah.
Imagine a website that not only provides information about climate change, but also uses powerful visuals and interactive elements to evoke an emotional response prompting you to take action.
That would be much more impactful than just reading a dry article about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Unlike human persuaders, computers can easily scale their efforts to reach millions of people simultaneously.
Okay.
Think about the potential of a health app that can deliver personalized advice and support to a global audience.
That could be incredibly powerful for promoting positive change on a large scale.
It could be revolutionary.
Mm.
And finally, we have ubiquity.
Ubiquity.
As technology becomes increasingly embedded in our everyday lives, from smart homes to wearable devices, computers have the potential to influence us at any moment, in any context.
Wow.
Imagine a smartwatch that gently reminds you to take a break from work and go for a walk when it senses your stress levels rising.
Wow. It's like having a personal coach on your wrist.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder about the ethical implications of all this persuasive power.
Right.
Where do we draw the line? It's amazing how computers can use these subtle techniques to, like, guide our behavior.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how this field has evolved over time,
Well, the term captology was coined back in the mid-1990s.
Okay.
But the idea of using technology for persuasion has been around much longer.
Right.
Think back to those early educational software programs that used colorful animations and catchy jingles to teach kids basic math and reading skills.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. They definitely made learning more engaging, even if we didn't realize we were being subtly persuaded to enjoy fractions.
Exactly. Those early programs were like the building blocks of captology.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the rise of the internet that this field really exploded.
Right.
Suddenly, computers were connected.
Hmm.
Information was flowing freely,
Yeah.
and the potential for influence grew exponentially.
It's incredible how much has changed in just a few decades. I remember when having a website was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Now our lives are practically interwoven with the internet. We have apps for everything, devices that are constantly connected, and it seems like every company wants a piece of our digital attention.
And that's precisely why the study of captology is more relevant than ever as technology becomes more integrated into our lives. The opportunities for persuasion multiply. We're no longer just talking about computers and smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about smart homes, wearable tech.
Mm-hmm.
Even our cars are becoming persuasive agents.
So where do you see this all headed? What's the future of captology look like?
Imagine a world where your refrigerator nudges you towards healthier food choices,
Okay.
or your car encourages you to take a more fuel-efficient route.
Yeah.
We're moving towards a future where persuasive technology is seamlessly embedded in our everyday environments.
It's like science fiction becoming reality. It's exciting,
It is.
but also a little bit daunting.
Sure.
How do we navigate this increasingly persuasive landscape? Like, how do we make sure technology is used ethically and responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question.
Huh.
One key is awareness.
Okay.
The more we understand about the techniques being used, the better equipped we are to make informed choices about the technology we engage with.
So it's like we need to develop a kind of persuasion literacy.
I love that term. Persuasion literacy is all about being able to decode the messages and motivations behind the technology we use.
Okay.
It's about asking questions like, how is this designed to influence me? What data is being collected and how is it being used? Are my choices being respected?
So it's not just about designers being ethical.
Yeah.
It's about users being informed and empowered.
Exactly. We need a two-way street of responsibility. Designers need to prioritize ethical considerations in their work.
Right.
And users need to become more discerning and critical of the technologies they invite into their lives.
Okay.
It's a partnership.
Okay, I'm ready to put on my critical thinking cap, but honestly, it can feel a bit overwhelming.
Sure.
Persuasive technology is everywhere. Where do we even begin?
You don't have to become an expert overnight.
Okay.
Start by simply paying attention to your own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Notice those moments when you feel like you're being nudged in a certain direction.
Like when I get that little rush of excitement when I see a notification pop up on my phone.
Yes, exactly. When you're online shopping, using social media, ask yourself, what's motivating my behavior right now? Is this something I genuinely want to do, or am I being influenced by the design of this platform?
It's like mindfulness, but for technology.
I like that, tech mindfulness.
Yeah.
And as you become more aware of those persuasive elements, you can start to make more conscious choices about the technologies you use and how you allow them to influence you.
Right.
It's about taking back control.
Being an active participant, not just a passive consumer
Precisely.
in the digital world.
And one simple step you can take today, is to look at the apps you use most often.
Okay.
Ask yourself, how is this app designed to keep me engaged? What persuasive techniques are being used?
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
That's a great starting point, and it's a good reminder that we're not powerless in the face of this technology.
Right.
We have choices.
We do.
We can choose to be more aware, more critical, and ultimately more in control of our digital lives.
Absolutely. The power is in your hands.
This whole conversation has really opened my eyes to how persuasive technology operates behind the scenes. We often think of technology as this neutral tool,
Right.
but it's anything but neutral.
You're right. Every design choice, from the color of a button to the placement of an ad, can influence our thoughts and actions.
Wow.
It's a powerful reminder of the responsibility designers have to use this technology ethically and thoughtfully.
And this isn't just about big tech companies and fancy gadgets. It's about those everyday interactions we have with technology, the email reminders, the notifications, even the way our social media feeds are curated. Persuasion is woven into the fabric of our digital lives.
Think about how something as simple as a notification badge on an app can trigger a feeling of urgency.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a little digital nudge that says, hey, pay attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
And before we know it, we're checking our phones compulsively, even if we don't really need to.
It's like we're all players in this giant game of persuasive ping pong, with technology serving up those nudges and us reacting to them often without even realizing it.
And the more aware we are of the game, the better equipped we are to play it strategically. It's not about rejecting technology altogether, but about using it consciously and intentionally.
Right.
We can choose to engage, to resist, to opt out.
So it's about being the author of our own digital stories, not just characters in someone else's narrative. That's a powerful image. It feels like we're at this turning point,
Yeah.
where we need to become more aware of the subtle ways technology is shaping our lives. We need to ask ourselves, is this technology truly serving me, or am I just serving its agenda?
That's such a crucial question. And it's one that we should be asking ourselves more and more as persuasive technology becomes even more sophisticated.
It's like we need to become digital detectives, always on the lookout for those subtle cues and nudges
Right.
that are designed to influence our behavior.
I think of it as a skill you can develop.
Okay.
With practice, you can start to recognize those patterns
Right.
and make more conscious choices about how you interact with technology.
So instead of just blindly clicking on that buy now button or endlessly scrolling through our social media feeds, we can pause and ask ourselves, why am I doing this?
Right. What's the motivation?
Is this really what I want, or is it just what the algorithm wants me to do?
It's about taking back control. It's about being intentional with our technology use rather than letting it use us.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive for sure.
It has been.
We've learned about the different ways computers can be used as persuasive agents, the subtle techniques they employ, and the importance of developing our own persuasion literacy.
And we've talked about the ethical considerations that designers need to keep in mind, as well as the responsibility we all have as users to become more aware and informed about how persuasive technology is shaping our world.
So as we wrap up, what's one key takeaway you would like to leave our listener with today?
I think the biggest thing to remember is that every time you interact with a digital product or service, you're engaging with a carefully crafted system of persuasive design. It's not inherently good or bad, but it's something to be aware of.
So pay attention to those nudges, those triggers, those subtle design choices that are designed to shape your behavior. Ask yourself, is this technology aligned with my values? Is it helping me achieve my goals? Or is it simply trying to capture my attention and keep me hooked?
And if you find that a particular technology is not serving you well, don't hesitate to disengage. Delete the app, unsubscribe from the newsletter, take a break from social media. You always have a choice.
That's a powerful message. The power to shape our digital lives rests in our hands. So be mindful, be curious, be critical, and most importantly, be empowered to create a digital world that truly serves you.
And remember, there's always more to learn. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world of technology and its impact on our lives.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into persuasive technology. Until next time, stay curious.